Welcome back, everyone, and I have a kind of a quick video here that I wanted to talk about why I love the gear system in Battleborn so much. They did something really special here where they have made white gear as good as legendary gear in some cases, and this is kind of crazy. So if you're not familiar with the Battleborn gear system, if you haven't played this game yet, you get gear from playing the story missions, and sometimes it's individual pieces, sometimes it's packs, and you can also purchase packs. I don't want to purchase that pack. I'll purchase an Eldred pack so you guys can see that here. And when you open the packs, as you see here, you get some gear out of it. You can choose to keep it or sell it. Healing received. And every different level of gear kind of has a theme. So you have white gear that either is just a single stat or a single stat and a negative stat. So you can see here, this one has positive skill damage minus shield strength. This one has positive attack speed. Green either has two positives or two positives and a negative. Blue always has two, and they're always the same. So as you see this green, you have attack speed and maximum health, where this is an attack speed and attack speed. This is critical hit and critical hit, buildable and buildable. So blue always has the two. Now that blue can have a third as well as a negative. Purples here. Do I have many purples? I don't have a lot of purples here. I think they just have typically higher stats, but they can also have negatives on them as well, I believe. And then you go up to legendaries, which usually has, well, it's not red text in this game, but like kind of a special red text effect, as you're used to in Borderlands, but it's just not red text, now it's white text, since the red text is the negatives. I do have a few pieces of legendary gear. Let me just sort by rarity here. So you can see this one, you get healing received. I have a random CC duration. Then every 30 seconds, healing received removes all CC effects. So that's a special effect on it. The other thing you'll notice on these is your activation costs. And this is where they get really clever and cool. These legendaries have 1800 cost. Now they can be, I think at the low point 800 and go up to 1800. But you can see they all have that third effect. Purples are usually in a higher cost range. Blues are a little bit less. Now if you have a negative on them, they drop significantly because there's a negative. And this activation cost is what makes this really interesting. If I go down to my greens, kind of see the range here, 500, 300 with the negatives. And then you go down to the whites, which are pretty cheap for just one, but when you have your negatives, you see they have 0 activation cost. So this is what makes it all really interesting. If you have a character without a shield, like the Eldreds, right here, this is really good, because now you get plus attack damage that you can just activate right off the bat. You don't have to spend any shards. Same thing here, skill damage. Actually, this one's a little bit better. That's a new one. I should switch that out. Damage reduction. I never like to take more damage, even for more health, so I'm going to sell that one. But this one, again, for an Eldred, you can get more health and lose shield recharge. You can see the check marks I have them equipped. Yeah, here's another one that can be good for an Eldred. Another one that can be good for an Eldred. Some characters don't have a reload, so negative reload speed can work well for them. Some characters don't have recoil. So there's a bunch of stats that don't hit all characters. So you can get the 0 cost gear. So I think this is like the first game in history that's made it so like whites can compete with legendaries. An 1800 shard cost is a big investment. Now, if you are in PvP, one of the ways to level up is to build buildables with shards. So if you're saving up 1,800 shards to activate your gear, that's a lot of buildables you could have built and leveled up and helped your team and just been a good teammate, let's be honest. Whereas if you can live with some of that white gear, especially, I don't have one of these right now. I had it in the CTT in the closed beta, or not the CTT, but the closed beta and early access. But a shard extractor here, I had one that was a 2.04, which was pretty high. I don't think it was max stats. And it was minus shield strength or one of those stats. So I could be generating shards when we were in, not even started the match yet. We're just sitting in the kind of entry area when it's explaining what to do. I'm already gaining shards. And by the time we go out there, I'm already building things right off the bat. You can see here in this loadout, just for an example here, I have an Eldred loadout where I have 3 of my items. Attack damage, skill damage, and maximum health. I have all this for Thorn right now, and it's all free. So I can go into PvP, activate these, and now all game I can just spend all my shards on buildables, helping out my team more and helping myself level up faster as well. Like I said, that's really cool. In Borderlands or Diablo or any of these games with a lot of gear, you're kind of always like ditching, selling your whites. Past like your first 10 levels in those games, where there's not a whole lot of stuff available to you, whites are just junk and pointless. In fact, some of these games have filters where you can turn off the white loot, and you don't even have to see it. But here they've made white loot valuable, and that's kind of genius, and I really love that. So, that's kind of the gear system here. It is RNG on the numbers you get. So you still have some of that Gearbox Borderlands RNG. Some people in this game don't like it because a lot of the legendaries you only have like 1 chance to get off challenges. And if you get a bad percent, it kind of sucks. But on the other hand, the percents variation are really small. I don't have them all memorized here. Mad Cow was going over it once and he had them all in his head. But a lot of them might be like 6 to 8%. And because these are small percent on this gear, because it's PvP, the RNG is not quite like what it was in Borderlands. But it would be cool if, at least on the character legendaries that you can only get once, it'd be cool if they removed that RNG filter and just always made them max stats. But that's kind of the loot system in a nutshell. I guess I ignored types, so that's not quite it. There are different types, and you can't stack these. So here we have the regen, health regen per second. So I can't equip 2 of these. I guess I'll show it with these swords. So you can see in this, I have one of these equipped. I can't equip it in these other 2 slots. I can just replace it. So you can't exactly stack stats, but you also kind of can with secondary. So this secondary is maximum shield strength. So what I could do, where's my shield strength? So I have this maximum shield strength, so I could equip this and have that as a secondary stat. So you can kind of stack some of the stats, but you can't, you have to do it with secondaries by using greens or purples. You could not do it by stacking multiple of the same kinds, but they're all kind of themed. So you have the rarities that change how the extra stats work, and then you have the different types. So here's buildable, you have your health, you have movement speed, there's another one for sprint speed, you have attack speed, attack damage, skill damage, set reload, healing received, which can be really helpful if you're playing with a Miko, obviously. Critical hits, CC duration, which is your crowd control. Not everyone knows what CC means, so that's like stuns and slows and stuff like that. Shield recharge delay, shards per second, which I really dig those. Shield strength, buildables, cooldown time, which can be very helpful as well. So, this one I have on a loadout for a melee character, because you're landing a lot of melee hits. The sprint speed here, your recoil, shield penetration, which is really awesome in PvP, not so useful in story mode, and I think there might be a few others I don't have, but it's a pretty well thought out and well developed gear system. And they didn't start this till kind of late in the development in Battleborn. I remember talking to them about gear in it, and they're kind of asking for community feedback and thinking and tossing around a lot of ideas, and what they did is fantastic. The 3 pieces really help, but they're not game breaking. And once again, the fact that they made whites as enticing as legendaries is pretty fucking brilliant. Like, no one's ever done that. And I hope they somehow bring that thought process into future Borderlands games once again, because it's such a brilliant move and a brilliant idea. I don't know, I'm blown away by it all the time. And I've been playing this game for a while now. It's just, like I said, no one's ever really done this before. And between what they did with the activation costs is just an absolute brilliant mechanic, and I love it. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. As always, if you guys have not subscribed, I appreciate it if you do. If you want to get a hold of me, best place to do that is in the Discord. I haven't really been checking my Steam group that much, to be honest. And also Twitter, which I've been being more active on as well, and trying to build up my follower base there. So come join Twitter and Discord and all that good stuff, and I will see you all later. Bye.